Magandang araw sa ating lahat. Narito tayo sa bagong episode ng Tokador. Last episode, we talked about ano yung definitions ng museum, ano-ano yung iba't ibang klase ng museum, at ano yung iba't ibang role ng museums. For this episode, tatalakayin natin kung paano nakukuha or na-acquire yung iba't ibang artifacts through archaeology, donation, or purchasing. We will also talk about paano nabibigyan ng presyo yung iba't ibang artifacts. And lastly, pag-uusapan din natin yung iba't ibang case studies such as the British Museum and the National Museum to give us a more nuanced perspective on museums.
Ating buksan,
Ungkatin,
at siyasatin. Ito ang
Tokador, a museum podcast! Hello sa ating listeners. Ako si Jim, ang magfa-facilitate ng discussion today, and I am with...
Ayan. Hi everyone, I'm Ja.
Hi, I'm Bea.
And ayun na nga, today pag-uusapan natin how are artifacts collected. So, before that, tanungin ko muna kayo, ano ba yung mga favorite artifacts na nakita nyo sa museums? How about you, Bea?
Siguro ako yung marble pond sa Museo Diocesano de Pasig.
Oh, okay. What
Kasi,
made it interesting for you?
Sabi, 5 daw yun na pinagawa nila for
Yeah.
600 pesos lang. Ang lalaki nila.
Oh my
Noon.
God.
Oo, 600 pesos.
Siyempre, sobrang mahal nun.
Inflation, di ba?
Totoo. Tapos, yung naka-display doon, medyo sira na siya. Pero may isa daw na ginagamit pa sa church until today.
That's good.
Diba? At least, ano pa rin siya, functional pa rin siya, even though meron dong nasa museum itself.
True.
Diba? Okay, how about you naman, Ja?
Sa akin naman, hindi ko pa to personally nakikita. So, medyo lalayo ako dun sa tanong mo na nakita ko na siya. Pero favorite ko talaga yung Othon Death Mask. Kasi
Why?
interested ako sa mga artifacts na may kinalaman talaga sa death rituals or just death in general. Very interesting kasi yung lore behind that artifact na parang to keep the soul inside of the body. Oo.
Okay, wow, okay. Thank you. Very interesting artifacts. So now, naisip nyo ba paano na-acquire ng museum yung artifacts na yun? I presume yung marble pond ay pinagawa.
Yes.
So, dun, in that way siya na-acquire ng museum. How about the Othon Death Mask? What do you think?
Well, yung acquisition nun, I feel like nanggaling talaga yun sa archaeological research. I feel like, but I'm not so sure about this, but hopefully hindi siya looted lang. I hope yung konteksto na kinalalagyan niya, yun pa rin yung konteksto kung saan siya nahanap.
I see. Saan ba to sa Ayala Museum or yung National Museum?
That I'm not so sure kung nasaan ang Othon. No?
Okay.
Pero given that it's gold and Ayala has a lot of gold
yeah.
in their collection, I feel like it's there. Pero, yeah.
So, ayun na nga, di ba? Parang yung exhibits nila, they're there. And hindi ko na tinatanong kung paano siya nagawa or paano yung artifacts nandun.
Yeah.
I took it for granted. But then, syempre now, mas naging critical na tayo, di ba?
Yes.
And we will tackle archaeology, donation, and purchasing as means to acquire these artifacts. So first, archaeology. So may niisip ba kayong examples or parang case studies about archaeological findings?
Ayun. So, as we know, archaeological research is very intensive,
Yes,
diba? Pero minsan, may natsyempohan talaga na mga artifacts kapag, kunwari, may construction, ganun.
Yes,
May nakwento yung prof ko before na sa isa daw construction ng isang commercial building, merong na-excavate na isang burial jar. So, he intended to acquire or obtain that jar. Tapos, ang sabi sa kanya nung head nung construction ay kailangan niya daw muna kumuha ng permit from National Museum. Syempre, sa pagkuha ng permit from National Museum, kailangan din ng mapping, description ng site. So, maproseso talaga siya. Kailangan na talaga ma-obtain nung jar. So, in the end, ayun, nasira lang yung jar kasi kailangan na ring ipatayo nung commercial building na yun.
Kasi, di ba, anong pakialaman sa jar ninyo? Ganun.
Totoo.
Well, syempre, hindi naman all cases, but yeah. Yes.
Super wasted potential talaga kasi first, very bureaucratic nga nung process.
Yes.
Nung pagkuha ng permit from National Museum. Tapos pangalawa, parang hindi to sa Pilipinas, hindi talaga standardized yung tinatawag na salvage archaeology.
What is salvage archaeology?
Yung salvage archaeology, siguro in a nutshell, for example, may mga construction sites nga like in construction projects, I mean, here in urban areas. Tapos, syempre, kailangan maghukay nun, di ba? Kapag gagawa ng isang infrastructure. Tapos, yung hukayan pala ay merong mga artifacts doon, no? From ancient times. So, that is when the construction people call in National Museum, at least here in the Philippines, or archaeologists to come in and salvage or save those artifacts.
Okay. So, in other countries, it is practiced that way.
Yes, practiced
But in the
talaga
Philippines, I think hindi National Museum yung tatawagan. Alam mo kung
Totoo.
tatawagan nila? KMJS.
I think, diba?
Diba?
Media outlets agad yung
Yeah.
tatawagin.
And is it sensationalized?
Exactly.
Diba? So, ayun na nga. Thank you sa pag-share about archaeology. So, dun nga natin nakikita yung issues about how it is acquired. But then, there are, syempre, certainly, there are cases wherein archaeological finds are well acquired and well preserved, well accessioned and everything. So, ayun. So, that's for archaeology. Now, we go to donations. Yeah. So, for me, I think the very example na naiisip ko is about Vargas Museum. So from the name, Vargas Museum is mainly the permanent exhibit is mainly from the donation of Jorge Vargas to UP. Ayan. So paintings of Felix Resurrección Hidalgo, Fernando Amorsolo. Vargas Museum holds the most number of Amorsolo paintings. Wow, diba?
That's
So,
great.
ang galing, ang husay. Kasi, if I remember correctly, Vargas really is a collector, ganon. He has advisors naman, he has friends, and minsan, dinodonate sa kanya, ganon. Minsan, binibili niya and everything. And ultimately, syempre, dinonate niya sa UP. So, ayun, diba? So, what do you think of that process? I mean, compared to archaeology?
I think hindi rin kasi mahihiwalay yung, for example, you're donating doon sa archaeological research because sometimes talaga kapag, kunyari, yung mga archaeology kasi, yung archaeologists, I mean, kapag nakakolekta sila ng mga artifacts, of course, they'll have that undergo examination and analysis and eventually interpretation. Now, the burning question is that, what do we do with this artifact now? No? Oftentimes, binibigay nila yon sa museum. So, one way or another, that is a form of donation then.
Okay, yeah. How about you, Bea?
So, ayun, just as donations are connected with archaeological research, connected din naman ang donations sa purchasing. Kasi,
Tinawid na nila.
Galing.
kasi in the first place, saan ba manggagaling ang mga donations na to kung hindi bibilhin ng ibang tao? Usually, ang mga donations nanggagaling sa private collections, katulad ng collections ni Jorge Vargas.
Diba?
Isa pang example ay yung sa Artiste Museum naman, na puno ng collections ni Anthony Gedang, isang filmmaker at art enthusiast.
Okay.
So, yung mga collections sa museum na yon ay mga artifacts na binili niya from his escapade abroad. Ayun. So, sinabi niya na kapag meron daw siyang nakikita na maganda na artifact, bibilhin niya.
Aesthetic value talaga.
True.
Oo. So, thank you sa pagtawid to purchasing, Bea. Thank you very much. And yun nga, nabanggit mo yung collection ni Anthony Gedang sa Artiste Museum. Mainly acquired by purchasing sa escapades niya. And if mako-connect natin yung donations and purchasing, yung collections ng private entities,
Right.
these are collected based on personal interest, diba?
Yeah,
Hindi naman natin sinasabing mali yun. But then again, kunyari, museum is viewed by many people, the public. So, might as well, the curations and the ideas towards building it are thought about by many people as well. Kasi mas maano natin, mas mapipino natin, mas makukurate natin ng maayos. So, baka may critique din doon kasi usually exhibits are curated by 1-2 people.
That's right.
So baka mas okay na more hands on deck, 'di ba?
Tama.
So para mas maayos, 'di ba?
Right.
Tama. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, for me, parang manifestation din kasi yan of how underfunded talaga institutionally ang mga museums. I mean, ang thriving ngayon, at least in its presentation, and its aesthetic value, and the easier acquisition of materials, ay yung mga private museums. Diba? Yung museums na may pangalan ng mga milyonaryo, bilyonaryo. Pero yung mga museums na National Museum, LGU Museum, it's definitely underfunded din talaga, which leads to like what you said, Jim, lower level of kumbaga professionalization nga.
And it's very important, no? Hindi ibig sabihin na you have the ability to purchase and to collect. Syempre kasi pag ganon, mahal. So mas culturally significant, ganon. So perhaps we need to...
That's a good question, yeah.
Yeah, perhaps we need to question that as well. And tatawid na tayo sa second part ng ating talakayan, which is how our artifacts are appraised.
Yes.
And paano siya nabibigyan ng presyo, gano'n. So, example lang, ano yung mga bagay na binibigyan nyo ng sentimental value? Let's say, necklace, or a picture, a photo album. Meron kayo sa bahay ninyo, photo album?
Yes.
Meron.
Okay, so, I want you to picture a certain photo album na meron kayo kasi baka marami. And that photo album, magkano nyo siya ipepresyo? Magkano nyo siya, pag ibebenta nyo siya, kunyari, very significant people kayo. And kailangan, di ba?
Hypothetical. Okay.
Di ba? Malay nyo, when we go down in history, di ba? Justin Caba and Bea. Tama.
And Jimoy.
So, ayun na nga. Paano? Kunyari, your photo album, how would you give price to that? Or si Bea, pwede?
Siguro sa photo album ko as a significant person, siguro mga 5M.
Wow! Diba?
Puro ba mukha mo yun? Ang ganda mo kasi.
Taray, descendant ni Rizal. Ganon level.
Kung Jose Rizal levels ako, siguro okay naman yung price na yun.
Oo, diba? Tama naman.
Reasonable. If you're like a significant figure rin talaga.
Usually, binibid yung mga ganon, diba? Sculptures and everything. So, yun na nga, di ba? Paano nabibigyan ng presyo yung mga bagay? And we think about it in the macro scale. Lahat naman ng bagay na binibili natin, na nakikita natin, yung presyo niya are arbitrary. Although it follows na, syempre, nasa, capitalist economic system. Yes. So even though there's loss of supply and demand, meron pa rin institutions na nagdidikta kung paano ipepresyo yung mga bagay na ito, 'di ba? How is a certain artifact 5 million or yung dun sa ginagawang Pasig Museum na may 8 million na statue, 'di ba? So paano siya nabibigyan ng presyo? And if I remember correctly, in my short stint as an intern sa isang museum, it's an art museum. So, ang sabi sa akin ay, syempre, depende rin siya sa artist. Ganon. Syempre, kahit paano.
The effort of the artist.
And the experience. Diba?
Right.
Ganon naman talaga. Pag mas marami kang experience, mas nabibigyan ka ng prestige through the pricing of your artifacts. Not necessarily the artistic techniques. Yeah. Kasi, subjective naman yun, diba? Kung ano yung art na maganda and hindi. So, yes. Ayun. Yun yung mga nadidikta. And bidding also, diba? Bidding. So, yung mga mayamang tao nagdidikta kung ano yung presyo niya.
Well, they have the power talaga. Well, of course, power equals wealth in this like what you mentioned nga, Jim, kanina, like the capitalist economic system, syempre kung sino yung may pera, sila yung kumbaga nagtitimon na kung ano nga ba yung halaga nito mga bagay na to.
Sila yung nagde-dictate.
But does, yun nga, sabi ko kanina, but does these prices dictate their cultural significance? What do you think?
I think, personally, kasi maganda talagang question siya, but I think it's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
No? Pero maganda na simulan na natin siyang usisain.
Yes.
No? Siyasatin. Hindi. Okay. Like, going back, I don't think yung cultural significance ay equal siya doon sa taas ng presyo.
Totoo.
Kasi for example, paano kung kunyari, yung currently na nagmamay-ari ng isang napakahalagang artifact, no? Yung tingin niya dun sa artifact na yun, sobrang baba. Diba? Pero yung pala, yung artifact na yun, for one certain community, yung community na pinagmulan ng artifact na yun, it's regarded as like a ritual material, a super important ritual material. So there's definitely that difference between the two.
Yes.
Or it could be like the exact opposite of each other. Pwedeng super taas naman pala, pero it's, let us say, a mundane artifact or a mundane material for this certain community. Ganon.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat, Ja. At dito nga natin masasabi na kailangan natin mag-go beyond or umalpas sa market exchange transactions natin. At hindi kasi na kukulong sa presyo.
Exactly.
Diba? Or sa price, yung value ng isang bagay. Diba?
Love that.
Nung pumunta kami sa Maligkong for our field school, merong certain artifacts kaming na nakita such as the Xiangxiang or Lingling-o sa ibang part ng Xiangxiang dun sa Maligkong. But then sa iba, Lingling-o. So may jade beads yon sa National Museum. Pero sa kanila gold. And meron din yung charapos. So yung charapos, yun yung tulugan nila sa communal dorm nila, which is Ator. So, nung 1990s daw, merong mga foreigners, at actually dalawang accounts foreigners or kapwa Igorot, na bumibili ng mga artifacts, mainly yung charapos. So, since binili yung charapos, pero binenta rin naman kasi kailangan ng pera, syempre, pangailangan, nawala yung cultural significance ng communal dorm. So, may mga ganitong effects yung pagbili. Pero kung tatanungin sila, syempre, paano namin bibigyan ng presyo to? Diba? And yung Lingling-o, heirloom siya, necklace. Pinapass on from parents to their offsprings. And lately, syempre, may mga instances na binebenta yung mga ganito. First and foremost, kasi ginto. And secondly, alam ng mga tao rin, yung mga bumibili, yung cultural significance nito. So, nagkakahalaga yung isang maliit na siyang ng pambili daw ng isang motor, gano'n. So, medyo malaki siya talaga. And ayun na nga.
So, ayun na nga, may kita natin dito yung importance talaga ng pagbabalik or pag-consult with the community. Kasi nga tulad ng sinabi ni Jim kanina na dahil nilalagyan ng economic value, yun ngang, higaan ba?
Oo.
Yun. Dahil binibigyan siya ng economic value na diminish yung cultural value niya. Dahil kinakailangan ng community, out of their need, kinakailangan nilang ibenta yung mga to para mabuhay sila.
Hindi na siya nagiging priceless, di ba? Para mas nadidiminish yung value niya.
Pero I would just like to clarify rin na yung, I think, pinanggagalingan ng example ni Jim at saka yung naging thought mo, B, ay syempre yung economic value na pinag-uusapan natin dito ay of course coming from the modern capitalist perspective and mechanisms, no? Kasi definitely, yung isang community, they would have their own economic valuation din. But I guess the hardships occur talaga kapag hindi nagtutugma itong mga valuations na ganito.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to critique this system. But then again, we need to be aware of the reality. This is the reality that we have right now. Maraming artifacts na binibenta at maraming artifacts na binibili and napupunta sa private entities instead of sa parang accessible to all.
Or like that community at least.
Yes, we need to be aware of this reality. And we need to be aware of certain other realities na very significant, like that of the British Museum, diba? So,
Definitely.
sa British Museum, alam naman natin nasa Britain, Great Britain siya. And isa sa pinaka controversial na museums kasi there are certain artifacts na gustong ipa-repatriate ng mga communities or countries na kanilang pinanggalingan.
Siguro, I think we should clarify that those are colonies.
Yes, oo. Diba? So, alam naman natin yung Great Britain ay colonial power before. Well, I think to a certain extent, even until now, economics and political, diba? Pero ayun na nga, mas physical yung kanilang colonial power before.
Yes.
Nagkakaroon sila ng pumupunta sila sa colonies nila and what's the term? Pillage or pagkamal or basically pagnakaw, 'di ba, nang hindi kanila. So, ayun.
So, yung argument naman ng British Museum kung bakit nila patuloy na kinikip yung mga artifacts na to ay dahil meron daw silang better capacity to preserve these items.
Wow.
Kasi nga, may resources sila, diba?
Sure.
Pero kung may resources sila, kung may capacity sila na ganun, meron din silang capacity for extensive research para mabalik yung mga artifacts na to sa kanilang mga places of origin.
Definitely,
diba?
I agree.
Ang lang kasi nun, parang kung ibabalik nila, it will be a big financial loss for them. Kaya siguro, ayaw rin nilang iba.
Ayaw rin nila talaga iba. I think, magandang support yan talaga doon sa pagtatalaban talaga ng economic value and cultural value. And I would just like to return back to what you said, Bea. Kasi parang very shallow defense of these countries, of this specific, sabihin natin global museums, to keep their wealth, to keep these properties within their area.
True.
But just to benefit them and not exactly those communities, those countries na yung talagang nagmamay-ari ng mga artifacts na yun.
And I watched a video last time, na from a certain community na pumunta sa British Museum na doon niya nakita yung original artifacts from their country, 'di ba? So, kailangan mo pang pumunta or magbayad ng airfare to go there.
Visa.
Oo.
'Di ba?
I mean, wala naman problema. Meron naman mga artifacts na legally acquired, diba? Na nakuha naman nila through proper channels. But there are these certain artifacts talaga na actively nire-request ng country or hindi man tama ba yung term na request? Basta pinapabalik. Pinaparepatriate. Diba? So, makikita natin dito na manifestation yung British Museum sa kanilang centrality pa rin or colonial power sa buong mundo as a global, quote-unquote, global museum, sabi mo, di ba?
I think it's really distasteful, unethical even, na they keep clinging on to these cultural objects that aren't of their own culture. So parang in a way, they're still clinging on to that tradition of antiquarianism.
I agree.
So for context, antiquarianism, dito nag-start in some way ang archaeology. Pero it's definitely. a really troubled past. Kasi nga, ito ay ang collection of antiquities or antiques for the sake of collecting or for the sake of having a collection in your own house to show off to your visitors. Parang ganon.
That reminds me of what Anthony Gadang of Artiste Museum is doing. No? Pero of course, antiquarianism, again, is looting. Is literally stealing mga puti. Pupunta sila sa mga non-white cultures. As ilulot nila yon. Pero let's give it to Mr. Gadang kasi at least binili naman niya yon, yung mga artifacts.
And thank you, Ja, for circling back to the Philippines kasi our next example is of the National Museum. So, nung nakaraan lang, early 2024, there were pulpit panels that were exhibited by national museums. And nag-react yung Cebu dito kasi parang ito daw yung pulpit panels na ninakaw from them. So, parang for a time, for a certain amount of time, nasa kanila pala, pero hindi nila binabalik. in-exhibit pa nila, dinisplay pa nila. So, yung Archdiocesan Shrine of Patrocino de Maria Santissima Church in Boljun ay isang heritage church. So, talaga, binibigyan talaga nila ng pagpapahalaga yung pulpit panels na nandoon sa National Museum.
Okay.
So, what do you think about that?
Sa akin naman, I think, siguro mas general yung perspective ko, no? Pero this goes to show that these issues of repatriation, no? It's not happening internationally lang, but also, of course, in local levels here within the Philippines, no? And I think kasi the challenge there na, of course, iba't iba tayo ng kultura, iba't ibang material culture yung hawak-hawak natin, pero meron tayong mga national institutions like the National Museum nga,
Yes.
na parang sinusubukan na ikahon itong mga material culture na to sa, of course, isang kahon nga sa isang vessel lang.
So, pwede rin pumasok dito yung concept ng national versus regional.
Right,
diba?
right.
Kasi malaking usapan pa rin siya hanggang ngayon, yung regionalism. And, well, present pa rin siya. We need to be aware of it. Pero, merong mga institutions na sinusubukang magkaroon ng national identity, yung Philippines, such as the National Museum, the main one in Manila. Pero meron rin regional na national museums, like meron sa Cebu, 'di ba? So, I think kailangan magkaroon ng balance between these regional and national institutions.
That's true. I think ang desisyon ay dapat nanggagaling pa rin talaga sa communities. Kung gusto nila
definitely.
ma-display yung culture or yung heritage na meron
Wow, yeah.
sa mga national platforms.
That's a good action point. Yeah.
Yes.
Ayan na nga. Thank you very much. Very, very fruitful ang ating discussion today. Ang dami nating nabanggit na case studies. And lumalabas sa discussion natin na kailangan natin maging critical sa paano nakukuha yung mga artifacts na nakikita natin, paano siya nabibigyan ng value, cultural or economical value.
Right.
And paano ang dapat pagtingin dito, paano mas pinapahalagaan, saan dapat ibalik or saan dapat nakapwesto yung mga bagay na ito. Very, very fruitful and very, very wonderful discussion. And for our next episode, pag-uusapan naman natin kung paano natin dapat ibalanse yung urban development and yung heritage conservation ng ating sites. And abangan natin yan sa next episode with...
Yes, of course. I'll be the one facilitating this episode. So, thank you, Jem, sa pag-preface nitong next episode natin.
Thank you very much again. And abangan nyo ang aming next episode. Bye-bye!
Ating buksan,
Ungkatin,
At siyasatin, ito ang
Tokador, a museum podcast!